Hey everybody, what's up? It's Joe Simpson here. I wanted to talk about drones today. I've kind of gone full circle on my drone buying extravaganza. This last birthday of mine, my wife got me a really nice drone. It was the Mavic 2 Pro, which has the Hasselblad, really nice camera with all the high dynamic range, all the different individual settings, and it was really sweet. And the flight stability is excellent. The flight distance and range is excellent. The portability is still quite good. But what I ran into was I just wasn't bringing it out enough. And I couldn't really figure out why it was that I wasn't using it. One thing was I was afraid to mess it up because it was so expensive. I think it was like $1,700 with the extra batteries. It was close to $2,000. It's a little too nice to be taken around to ponds and smacking into trees and stuff like that. I just wasn't really utilizing the footage the way I should have been. And I was just too afraid to pull the trigger to do anything with it because it was so expensive that I thought I'd mess it up. Second to that is, even though it was small, it was still a little bit cumbersome to take it with me with all my fishing gear. I have 2 or 3 fishing rods, I have my tackle and stuff, and then to bring another little suitcase, and it was about this big, exactly. That's the case that I carry it in. It was just a little too much. I mean, I was either videotaping somebody else and they were fishing, you know, or I just put it back in the box and would fish because I wanted to kind of have it follow me around or keep an eye on me while I fished. And I just didn't implement the follow me mode or use it that way that often. So I just wasn't using it. And I was sitting there the other day and I saw this Mavic Mini ad and I thought, you know what, that's so much less expensive and it's so much smaller that it might be something that I would consider using because A, it doesn't cost as much, so I'm not going to worry as much if I damage it. Of course, I don't want to break it. And then the other thing is, it's so small. You know, I could take just 2 batteries in my pocket and the Mavic and stick it in like a loose jacket pocket. I could theoretically use that thing more often than I'm using the other one. So we'll see. And then, you know, when the day is done, at least I can rest easy knowing that I didn't spend almost $2,000 for all the accessories and the drone and have it just sit on the shelf and look at it. The sad thing is my wife bought it for me and she really doesn't adventure into tech gifts with me too much because she knows that it can be dangerous. I might not like it, or I'm very picky about my stuff. So she really nailed it with this one. But let me pull it out and just show you a little bit of the difference between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic Mini. But here's the Mavic 2 Pro, really nice device. It's really small and portable. For what it is and how much it weighs and how it flies and its characteristics, it's really incredible. Here's the Mini. I'll pull this out. This thing is ridiculously small. I can't believe how small this is. So to give you an idea of case size, I've gone down to this. And so we're going from, hang on. We're going from this to this, from weight. And we're looking at about 1/3 of the weight in terms of what I can tell. Now, one of these batteries for the Mavic Pro is that big. They're about $100 a pop, and they're not cheap. Controllers are about the same size. The Mavic Pro is more complicated with more, you know, adjustments and controls, and they do use a different software, and I'll talk about some of the differences here in a minute. So, love the Mavic 2 Pro. Sorry about that loud noise, but I just couldn't deal with the expense and the size. I'm a hobbyist beginner. I'm not really a pro. So, but look at this thing. That's the Mavic Mini. That thing is like teacup. And let me tell you, holding it in your hand, it's super light. And put it back in the case. I know I handle it like it's going to break. This is one of the batteries for that device. It's super small. So you can see here that I have a 3-pack of batteries in this charger. And I use this more of a carrying case than anything. But everything fits in the case. I could easily drop this Mavic Mini into the backpack, no problem. So I think it's the way to go, at least for me and what I do. But the one thing that I would tell anybody who buys these drones to buy, see, these batteries last for anywhere from 23 to 30 minutes, depending on which drone you get, which is great. But when you come back and you have the Fly More kit from these drone packages, and I'll explain what that is in a second, the Fly More kit Gives you a charger that will charge 3 batteries, but it does like a spillover charge. It charges the first one when it's full and done. It charges the next one when it's full and done. So you could be 3-4 hours charging 3 batteries, which sucks. Because if you only have 20 or 30 minutes each battery, you've got a little over an hour of time to fly, and that's it. So you might want to have a charger that's a little more rapid. So I went on Amazon and I found these 2 different chargers. The first one I'm going to show you is for the Mavic Mini. Now this is a charger. It actually has a 4th port, so I could charge, I'll show you here, it looks like an octopus. I could charge 3 batteries at one time simultaneously, and when you plug this in, the battery lights light up, these things charge. I can charge 3 Mavic Mini batteries in about 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, it's really fast. At the same time, I can charge off of USB the controller, and you can charge your telephone. There's another port there for USB. So it's very, very versatile, and it charges everything all at once. It does build up a little heat, so I'd recommend flipping this one onto its back so the heat sinks are facing up and the heat rises out of it. Now the other one, this one's getting sold with my Mavic 2 Pro, but this is badass. This is really good. This charges 3 Mavic 2 Pro batteries simultaneously all at one time. It'll charge your controller, plugs right into the wall, has light indicators and everything. These things are a must. If you're gonna do some droning and you wanna have some flight and fun, get these multi-chargers. They charge 3 to 4 batteries at a time simultaneously. I will link those 2 devices down in the show notes. And that's definitely a tip I haven't seen on many channels or on any videos from too many people. And I've had no issues with, undercharged batteries or overcharged batteries or defective batteries as a result of using these, so I think they're pretty safe. Couple pluses and minuses, Mavic Mini versus the Mavic 2 Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro is by far the best cinematic prosumer drone out there, so if you want to do some really high-end stuff, that's probably the drone you want to get. The gimbal, the distance of flight, the stability of flight, and its camera and in bit rate and resolution and all that stuff is better. The Mavic Mini is a perfect blend of price per performance, in my opinion. So I'm a fair weather flyer. I'm not going to take it up on high winds, so the weight doesn't matter to me. Being small is better for me for traveling anyway. I don't mind that it's not 4K. It has 2.7K, which is like double the resolution of 1080p. So it's still really, really good resolution. It allows you a little bit of zooming if you're doing a 1080p video as your final format. It doesn't have the high bit rate and some of the manual controls for your image quality, but it's still very, very good. It's so much better than they used to be even 4 or 5 years ago that it's just unbelievable how good it is. The only thing I'll say about the Mavic Mini is I have a little bit of a distance issue. Sometimes I lose reception, but I'm in a pretty congested area, and the Mavic Mini uses Wi-Fi for connectivity to the remote, so you want to be careful with that. I think I'm going to mess around with changing some channels or different frequencies in my Wi-Fi range, and also get those Wi-Fi extender reflector shields and try some things like that. But really for me, I'm 300-400 feet away from myself at all times. I don't really fly it too far out of sight. I'm not real comfortable with that anyway. And if you wanted to do that, you could just get the Mavic Pro. Hope that helped. Hope that tip for the battery charger comes in handy. They're like 30 bucks. 35 bucks on Amazon, so you might as well pick one up. I leave them in the house, and then that way when I come in from flying, I just drop all the batteries on it, and then the batteries charge in about an hour. I pack it all up and it's ready for the next time to go out. So hope this was useful for you guys, and enjoy your droning. I think the Mavic Mini is a super little drone. It has its limitations, but for what it does, I'm saving $1,000 or over $1,000 by going from one to the other. So you guys hang in there, take care, and I'll see you soon.
You say